Let's talk about that man that the system tried so hard to erase. Enoch was the seventh from Adam and the great-grandfather of Noah. While everyone around him was falling apart, Enoch was the only one who stayed perfectly in tune with the truth. He lived in a time when the world was being torn apart by the Watchers. These were high-ranking beings who rebelled against the living light. They landed on Mount Hermon and began to corrupt the human DNA. They started mixing their blood with our blood to create Nephilim. These are giants that became so depraved they began to devour the flesh of men and drink their blood. This was a total attack of our biology, a bloodline war that almost wiped us out. Because Enoch was the only one the living light trusted, he was pulled out of the simulation and given a tour of the entire world. Two beings with the faces of the sun lifted Enoch through the layers of reality. He described a palace built of crystals and tongues of fire with a floor made of hailstone. At the center was the throne of the living light, a massive structure of fire and lightning. But here is where it gets technical. He saw 12 portals, 3 in each cardinal direction. Most people think these are just windows, but they're actually pressure vents. Some portals bring healing and moisture. This is the primary ventilation. Other portals relief valves that release extreme cold or scorching heat to rebalance the atmospheric density when the system gets out of tune. Enoch saw that the sun and the moon move on wheels. As they rotate, they create a centrifugal pull on the air. The sun is a high-energy luminary. If the air didn't move, the land under the sun path would incinerate. The wind is the coolant. It carries the heat away from the center and moves it towards the edges to be cooled down. Enoch then traveled to the ends of the earth where the heaven rests on the foundations of the world. The ice wall isn't just a fence, it is a radiator of the vessel. By keeping the outer rims at sub-zero temperatures, the architecture ensures there's a thermal gradient. The difference in temperature between the hot sun track and the frozen ice wall is what powers the wind. At the very edge, Enoch saw 7 massive stars bound in chains on fire. He was told that these are the stars that disobeyed the command. It didn't show up at night at the right time. He realized that the stars aren't just rocks, they're living energies held to a strict divine clockwork. If they miss their timing, the whole synchronization of the vessels fail. When the tour was over, Enoch's biology was rewritten. In the ancient texts, it says that his flesh turned into blazing flame and his bones into glowing coal and his eyes into burning torches. He was transformed into Metatron, the scribe of the light. The book of Enoch was taken out of the Bible because it proves that we do live in a structured, intelligent, and managed environment. It proves that the Watchers who corrupted our history are real. Enoch is the proof that when you stay close to that living light, you stop looking at the weather report and start seeing the engineering. You stop being a resident of the system and start being a walker to the truth.